The Carmarthenshire County Showground once again played host to the start of the 2025 edition of the Roger Albert Clarke Rally. Considered by many to be one of the toughest and most gruelling events in motorsport, this year's rally consisted of over 300 competitive stage miles. Among them, some of the best and most iconic stages in Wales, England and Scotland. With a star-studded entry featuring multiple ex-winners and champions from across the globe, this year's event looked set to be extremely hard to predict. Among the crews hoping to do battle at the front for overall honours were Paul Barrett with his long-standing co-driver Gordon Noble alongside. They would once again take to the stages in their Ford Escort Mark II and were ready for the challenge. Paul, no stranger to an R.A.C. rally, really had the bit between his teeth for this year's event, eager to overcome the challenges of previous years and fight for those top honours. We joined Paul for a quick chat prior to the ceremonial start.
Paul, we're back in Wales, another R.A.C. 2025. I'm sure you're keen to right the wrongs of last time.
Yeah, well, that's the plan. I know, but obviously the Wales going to play a big key in it. But no, just excited to get going and looking forward. The car's good. Like, in fairness, what we've done with the car this past year, I'm sort of proud of it. Proud of the lads. Sammy, brother of mine, Dermot Colgan, built the car basically from a shell again. The car's good. We've done a great bit of testing. You know, and I couldn't be here only for the boys. The amount of effort is put into the car, you know. So looking forward to it. Hey, I'd say people around me know what my game plan is, but try and rein it a wee bit as best as I can, you know. But that's the same for everybody. So just it's hard to know what pace everybody's going to be at. The boys, Oisin and Matt, like, are going to be going hard, but there's 10 men out there can win this rally, more. But we're just going to give it our best go. Like, and in fairness, I have to say something. I have to thank the sponsors. Like, only for the lads, I couldn't be here. Like, it's a family-run team. Like, the wife and mates coming, doing all the cooking and everything. Like, so, I couldn't be here only for them. Like, you know, so I have to be appreciated for the help that I get. You know, so.
Thank you, Paul, and all the best.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
As night fell, under the glow of Christmas lights and in front of the crowds, Carmarthen looked stunning. Thousands of fans had lined the streets, a chance to get up close to the amazing array of rally cars on show. A real jewel in the crown for the rally. Once again, the atmosphere at the ceremonial start was electric. You could almost feel the excitement in the air. The time for waiting was over. The car was ready. And as each car passed over the ramp, Paul and Gordon moved closer to making their way over that famous start ramp. And in doing so, getting their 2025 Roger Albert Clarke Rally journey officially underway. Tomorrow, the real rallying would begin. As first light broke over a sunny but bitterly cold mid-Wales, the months of waiting were over. This was it. Day one of the Roger Albert Clarke Rally was about to get underway. 6 special stages laid in wait for a near 200-strong entry, with Crooken the day's opener before heading into Kefin and a welcome return to the Pembrey motorsport circuit. As the army of marshals and spectators settled in for the opening day's action, all that was left to do was wait and listen for the roar of the opening cars in the stage. And if the start to the day was anything to go by, we were in for a real treat. As Paul and Gordon set off into stage 1, Crooken, it was clear to see from the off that the overnight drop in temperatures was going to have a real effect on the stages. Varying levels of grip, from sheet ice to sun-bathed patches. The event was going to be a challenge from the get-go. Paul, no stranger to these stages and perhaps to these conditions, set off in his usual flamboyant fashion. But with the icy, compacted ground, he knew that just getting through the day's opener was the correct approach, sensibly managing things and dropping back where needed. Setting a time of 12 minutes 17, he would end the first stage in a very respectable 4th overall. A solid start, and the perfect building block from which to launch a challenge.
Here we go, Paul. What do we do here?
That's some crack in there. It's just so slippy, and just to judge where the grip is and where the grip's not, you know. But listen, same for everybody, so just take it as it comes.
First one down.
First one down.
Stage 2 was a short 3-mile blast through Cavan, and with less ice in here than Crooken, it gave them a chance to stretch the legs of the Escort. And you can clearly see the more attacking body language of the car through this section, dancing around under braking and actually being able to apply full throttle. Paul and Gordon were settling into a steady rhythm and were enjoying the challenge of these classic Welsh stages. Recording a 7th fastest time of 3 minutes 49 seconds through here, they dropped back a position to 5th, just 22 seconds behind the leaders, Osian Price and Dale Furness.
60, press 3 right in plus and 2 left plus plus, 60, care 3 left, hook over crest into 4 right, hook through the dip plus, 40, 2 right hook plus, 100, 1 right, 40, care turn square left, cut second gear, 150, 3 left hook and 4 right hook plus, 40, 2 right hook plus plus, 40, 2 left hook plus plus, left over crest plus plus, 8.
Stages 3 and 4 were back-to-back, running around the infamous roads of Pembrey circuit. And for many, a welcomed return, giving the event a real nostalgic feel of R.A.C's and Network Q's of old, where spectator-friendly stages were a real hit with the crowds. And after the tight and twisty forestry roads in the previous 2 stages, this was a real chance to push the car to its limits on a sealed surface and to put on a bit of a show for the onlooking fans. 12th and 13th fastest times would see the pair drop a further position to 6th on the overall leaderboard, now 31 seconds behind the rally leaders.
And 4 right continues for 100 in plus plus, 100 keep right, turn 5 left, hit the curb on exit.
After a brief service halt at Pembrey, the event had now plunged into darkness, and with spot lamps fitted, the pair set about driving into the night. They approach here, catching the TR7 of Mark Higgins, following an earlier spin. Solid runs through the second passes of Crooken and Keffin moved Paul and Gordon back up to 4th place overall. Now 52 seconds off the lead and a mere 8 seconds in front of 4th place, the pairing of James Ford and Neil Shanks breathing down their necks. After the opening day, Osian Price and Dale Furness lead Matt Edwards and Sean Williams by 17 seconds. Marty McCormack and Barney Mitchell just 2 seconds behind them in 3rd, and Paul and Gordon a further 33 seconds back in 4th position. With conditions as they had been throughout the day, they are sure to be very happy with their day's work. Day 2, Friday, consisted of 6 special stages and 70 stage miles, taking in some iconic Welsh stages, including Sweet Lamb, Hafren and Meherin. But as the sun began to shine, it revealed the conditions that Paul and Gordon, along with the rest of the field, had to tackle. With temperatures dropping as low as -9 degrees across the valley, the ice patches of yesterday were replaced with completely frozen surfaces. Snow and thick ice lurked around every corner, making an already challenging day ahead a vital day for the rally. Making it through today would take all the skill and concentration the pair had. A tantalising day lay ahead. The open, flowing roads of Meherin got Friday underway. And with recent logging works having taken place, the majority of the stage was now a lot more open than in previous years, meaning the ground had thawed slightly, allowing Paul to really open up the RS 1800 and fully appreciate all this fantastic stage had to offer. But as was going to be the story of the day, there were still many tree-lined places which were completely frozen, and knowing where they were and where they could push, as a result, meant they had to back off from time to time. It was a complete lottery. The pair set a fantastic time of 15 minutes and 10 seconds over the 22.37 kilometres stage, which will be good enough for third fastest overall, keeping them in fourth for now. Now just 15 seconds behind the mighty M3 of four-time event winners Marty McCormack and Barney Mitchell.
5 left over crest in exit into 5 left in exit plus 100.
Paul, happy enough through there?
Yeah, not happy enough there. It's got the car dialed in, we've better there now, so I'm happy, happy.
What's the plan for today? Obviously, it's a longer day than yesterday. We can keep saying there's a long way to go, but at some point, you've got to really get yourself nailed in.
Yeah, no doubt, but I just, want to get through the day, and I think the racing will start on Sunday morning.
Hey, it worked for you yesterday.
Yeah, well, we'll just keep it going.
As the pair blasted their way towards the bowl section of the infamous Sweetlam and Havering stage, it was clear to see they were relishing attacking the magnificent stages in front of them. And with the opening miles bathed in sunshine, they would be forgiven for thinking all would be well in this stage. But as they headed further into the 26-kilometre special stage, things weren't quite as they seemed. They were greeted with a layer of snow and thick ice across the stage. With the car constantly fighting for traction, it would take all of Paul's car control to keep them on the road. And with an in-stage battle with Matt Edwards caught here by our cameras, they would really have to concentrate. This would cost the pair a few precious seconds, but even with this, Paul and Gordon registered a superb second fastest stage time of 19 minutes and 4 seconds. In doing so, they rocketed up the leaderboard, gaining 2 positions. They now sat in second place overall, 7 seconds ahead of McCormack and Mitchell. Stage 9, Dovenant, a stage that had to be shortened at very late notice due to the extreme road conditions. And that was up next. We joined Paul and Gordon on board, midway through the stage.
3 left in exit plus 100. 3 left continues for 80, okay. There'll be 3 left continues for 80, okay. 60, crest, 5 right continues for 100. Beat 5 right continues 100.
A measured drive would see them set an impressive stage time of 7 minutes 44, fastest overall by 9 seconds, but more importantly, 23 seconds faster than leaders Oshan Price and Dale Furness.
Line 2 left in and...
The second running of Sweetlam Havering stage was to be the last of the day, with Dovenant 2 cancelled to allow crews sufficient time to travel from Welshpool to Carlisle that evening. Having had a strong day up until this point, Paul and Gordon were now in attack mode. They seemed to be relishing in the extreme conditions in front of them. A huge time of 20 minutes 58 seconds would see them top the timesheets once again, coming in 8 seconds clear of second fastest Mark Higgins and Carl Williamson. But with the rally leaders Price and Furness losing 43 seconds caused by a spin, the gap to first overall had now dramatically come down to just 29 seconds. It was now all to play for. As the crews headed for service, the positions at the end of a very challenging day 2 look like this. Oshan Price and Dale Furness take a slender lead of just 29 seconds over Paul and Gordon, with Marty McCormack and Barney Mitchell a further minute and a half behind. Having relocated north to Carlisle overnight, the Roger Albert Clarke Rally now moved into its 3rd day of competition. With 8 special stages set to take place and an early afternoon start time, much of today's action would run under the cover of darkness. And with snow on the ground in Riccarton and Hindley, the challenge of this year's R.A.C. rally just seemed to be growing and growing. The first stage of the day would be Tommy's Fell, a late addition to the event and situated just a stone's throw from Kirshop. At just 5.4 kilometres in length, there was nothing much to gain through here, but plenty to lose. A small overshoot near the end of the stage at a hairpin right cost the pair around 15 seconds, but a 12th fastest overall stage time would keep them in 2nd overall. Crucially, 41 seconds now off the lead. Severe traffic problems en route to stage 14 led to event delays, meaning the originally planned daylight running of Riccarton and Hindley would now be held in fading light. With snow and ice already on the ground, a layer of fog had started to descend on the area, making driving conditions in the stage extremely treacherous. Taking confidence, though, from the previous evening's times in similar conditions, Paul and Gordon knew that they had to try and launch an attack. But with the conditions deteriorating rapidly, they knew that this was going to be an evening of survival. A solid second overall run through Riccarton would see them exit stage 14, now leading the rally. Price picked up a puncture, which cost him 49 seconds and dropped him to second overall, now 4 seconds behind Barrett and Noble. A huge turnaround. Price, though, battled back in stage 15, Hindley, returning to the lead by 3 seconds overall. And with fog set in through the last stage of the loop, Kirshop, he extended that lead to 58 seconds.
Paul, we said before this one, this could be decisive in conditions like these.
Crazy in there. Crazy. But good crack. Did you time off Ocean there, no?
He thinks that you took the lead off him in there.
Oh, right, okay. Well, we'll take that.
What was your time, do you know?
11:54. 11:54.
11:54, okay.
Following on from earlier delays, the event slipped further and further behind, with stage stoppages and severe traffic congestion the main issues. Subsequently, the event organisers took the difficult decision to cancel the remainder of the stages for the day. So as the crews diverted to the service area, the results at the end of day 3 looked like this. Price and Furness lead the way after day 3, 58 seconds in front of Paul and Gordon. Marty and Barney in the M3 a further 2 minutes behind in third. We managed to grab a quick interview with Paul and Gordon to hear their thoughts about the day.
Hi, I'm really just about the lads that get a bit of rest, to be honest with you. And myself just for a bit of rest too, and get a chat to the wife and see what the crack is like. So, listen, all's good. And get out and make me a drop of tea, so. And all's good. All's good, yeah. No, hey, listen. There's the nights, I suppose, I don't even know what time it is, I don't even know what time it is. But is it?
Half
8?
Right? Half 8?
Half 8, yeah. So, listen, it's good. Hey, we'll keep plodding along. Try and get a bit of push on the morning.
Ideal. So you're full of beans, ready to go tomorrow?
Yeah. Oh, I get a good night's sleep now and get somebody give me a good slap around the face and get at it. So all's good.
Paul and I are getting on fine, thankfully, as we normally do. There's no issues with both of us trying to do our job as best we can. It seems to work. Today was good. Paul drove very well when the conditions became difficult, particularly Hindley, which was quite treacherous in places, I would call it, because there was lots of ice and snow, and the snow was breaking up a bit, but he managed it really, really well. And we got a bit of a jump there. We got ahead of Ocean, where I think we came out of that stage leading by 4. Unfortunately, then we went into Kirshop. Well, there was another one in the middle, but we went into Kirshop in the fog, and we didn't just perform as well in there. I think the fog and the conditions and a whole lot of things that played out of our hands really, and into Ocean's hands. But the important thing, as we discussed, was that we're still here tonight. The car's still fresh. There's a long way to go. There's a very long day tomorrow, and then there's Monday to finish it off. So anything can happen, and dear knows what will happen. This is rallying. It's the Roger Albert Clarke Rally. We all know of the many foibles that there are on the way. So we're going to keep working at doing what we're doing, and hopefully it works out in the end. So we'll see.
Day 4 and moving further north once again. We were now firmly in Scotland. A daunting 10 special stages lay ahead. And thankfully, the snow and ice that had thwarted the event thus far had been replaced with rain and mud. And with over 60 miles of rallying in front of them, there was still a lot at stake for our crews. The day started in A. Well known for its fast, flowing nature, it was a firm favourite among the drivers. This stage had it all. And now, with the rain falling heavily, the pair set about making inroads into that lead of Ocean and Dale that they gained the night before in the fog. The battle at the front was fierce. There was no other word for it. A real fight for overall honours had opened up. And Such was the pace in here that the top 5 stage times were separated by a mere 5 seconds. Paul and Gordon were really pushing on, using all the road and more, as can be seen here on our cameras. They really were a joy to watch through here.
One left hook plus through dip 40, 3 right in over small bump in exit 60, 1 left plus plus and the 2 right in over small crest plus, repeat your in over small crest plus 40, 2 right, 80 bump dip 3 left over crest now, opens hook plus 40, 3 right in over bump plus plus.
At the end of the
60,
stage, they recorded
2
the
left over
second
crest plus
fastest
plus,
time,
130,
just 1 second behind the leaders.
Plus 80, 1 right into small crest, 2 left, 60.
Our cameras would next pick the pair up in the Castle Ur stage. Paul continuing his pursuit of the lead, pushing the Escort hard over the loose gravel roads, delighted to have some grip underneath him. The undulating nature of the stage, meaning full commitment over many blind crests and steep downhill bends, was imperative. Another second fastest time through here would gain them a few extra seconds on the rally leaders. The gap had now dropped to 50 seconds.
3 left hook plus plus 130. Slowing 2 right hook into turn hairpin left. 2 right hook into turn hairpin left. 40. Line 5 left in into 4 right hook exit. 60 down. Very narrow 5 right tightens in exit. 40. Turn hairpin right. 170.
How was that?
Yeah, not a bad run, in fairness. I did have okay, I think, yeah.
You kept him honest this morning. We haven't seen the times yet for this one, but you've got the pace.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping so, but listen, Ashley's going hard too. Everybody's going hard in there. Like Marty's only 1 down there too, but it's good to be in the mix. I'm not earlier than them boys.
No, he's not.
As they headed into stage 25, Newcastleton, the pair knew a good time through this stage could see them close the gap even further. And as they tore through the 8.6 kilometre stage, it was clear to see their intentions were very firmly on moving the right way on that leaderboard. A stellar time of 7 minutes 30 seconds would earn them another stage victory, but more importantly, they took 27 seconds out of the rally leaders. The gap had yet again been cut in half. The difference now down to just 29 seconds. After a midday service halt, the event moved into the darkness once more. And keen to make up more ground on the leaders, Paul and Gordon set in to the second run of a forest full of confidence. As they pushed on through the fast-flowing roads, a nasty bump on the inside of a left-hand bend sent them careering off the road.
All right, start it up.
Thankfully, the pair managed to escape with just time loss, knowing full well that it could have been a lot worse. They completed the stage 12th fastest, dropping 37 seconds to leaders Price and Furness, but thankfully still in the event and still within touching distance of that lead. With the news filtering through that the final stage of the day at Newcastleton had been cancelled due to road damage, we move on to the new final stage of the day, Craig. With average speeds through the 14.5 kilometre stage nearing 100 kilometres per hour. And after the earlier scare, Paul and Gordon sensibly decided to mitigate risk. A measured 7th fastest overall stage time through here kept them in second place by the end of day 4 and showed their experience. After a roller coaster of a day in Scotland, here's how the standings looked. R.A.C. Price holding a commanding lead of 1 minute 52 seconds. Paul and Gordon maintaining second position, with Marty McCormack now just 28 seconds behind in third. Just one day to go, and anything could happen from here. So here it was, the final day of the Roger Albert Clarke Rally, an event that had well and truly lived up to its gruelling reputation. Monday, just one more day of rallying to get through and the dream would be complete. Just 5 special stages stood between the crews and the finish line. But with the behemoth near 40-mile stage aptly named the bigger one, the sting in the tail of the event, today was by no means a simple drive to the finish. There was still a lot of rallying to be done. As Paul and Gordon started the final day's action, we picked them up in stage 32, Pundershaw. By his own admission, Paul was now driving for a finish. The aim to consolidate that fantastic second overall position. But with third place, McCormack and Mitchell pushing hard behind them, they knew they couldn't just cruise to the end. And as they passed our cameras, it was clear Paul was in no mood to concede the runners-up spot to the previous multiple event winners without a fight. 5th fastest position overall in Pundershaw saw the pair drop 10 seconds to the hard-charging Marty in the M3. But as they reached the end of stage 33, Roughside, big news was beginning to emerge.
Paul, a pretty comfortable second place for the final day here, but that's not what's in your sights, I'm sure. There's a lot of things playing through your mind.
That's an understatement. But listen, Aisha's going hard too, but we can just keep pushing as much as we can, like. But Marty's coming hard behind us there too, like, so.
Gearbox.
Are you serious? Right, hard luck, Marty. Like, that's not the way you want any rally to finish. Like, well, the three of us had good camaraderie and good crack there, like, but that's rallying, I suppose, isn't it?
It is rallying.
Yeah. No, listen, we're enjoying it. And
what time did you get?
13:20.
13:20. All right. Okay. Thank you, guys.
With the mighty M3 parked up at the side of the road with gearbox failure then, the threat from behind had all but vanished. And with just 2 more stages to complete, the nerves were surely by now starting to set in inside that RS 1800.
1 left plus plus and a 1 right plus plus through dip. 200 over crest plus plus. 1 right plus plus. 250. 2 right hook plus into trees. 80.
Stage 35, the bigger one. The final stage of the 2025 Roger Albert Clarke Rally. A combination of 3 of the stages previously run that morning, and at nearly 40 miles in length, the longest stage in UK rallying. Paul and Gordon settled into their rhythm for one final time, and they knew no heroics were needed. They just had to make it through. And with a gap of nearly 3 minutes to new third place man Greg McKnight, the aim was simple: get to the finish line.
40, 1 left, 80, crest the 5 right hook okay.
With family and friends waiting anxiously at that finish line, all they could do was wait and listen. Just a few miles of the very last stage were left. As Paul and Gordon made their way down the final section of stage and across the finish line, the emotion of finishing this mammoth event was clear to see. They had done it.
3 right to the stop. Yo, you cunty. Yes! Good lad, well done. Hey. Matey.
As they reached the stop line of the final stage, the pair could finally breathe a sigh of relief. After 5 days full of rallying, they had taken a phenomenal second position overall, among one of the most competitive entries this rally has ever seen. A fantastic result on such a gruelling event.
Eventful few days, like, but no, listen, the pace was there when it was good. Just the night stages just beat me, like, with eyesight and probably too many birthdays, like. But no, listen, Gordy done a superb job too. Great team effort from all the lads there. You can see it all behind us. I couldn't do it without them, like, so. And that's the bottom line. But hey, it's great to be here. And I wanted this result. You have to get the result. But ultimately, we were second from Friday. We didn't get it handed us. So listen, we're happy with it.
Delighted, obviously. I mean, it's been this has probably been 6 years happening rather than just a week. You know, it's been a lot of work for quite a number of years to get the car built, to get everything happen, to get used to the sort of conditions and the length of the event and so on. I think once again Paul's driven fabulous rally. He made very little error all the way through five full days. Conditions were treacherous regularly, and he was able to manage that. In fact, we were actually quickest with the more difficult the sort of conditions we were actually best at that. So that's something to be good for. Also, the speed we had whenever the stages were generally open for everyone, there was no issues with weather or whatever else. We showed pace there, which is good. But as Paul said earlier, this is very much not just him and I. It's a whole team effort. There's about half or maybe even 10 people behind us here who built this car, looked after it, came here. It's been 100% reliable. The girls cooking us food, which has been fabulous. We've been catered for like sort of kings and things like that. So I must say big thank you to them. Without them, this certainly would never happen, But we're delighted to be here, and the result's good. And all we can do now is come back again in a couple of years' time and win. I think that'll be the plan.
In the end, then, the final positions of this incredible rally looked like this. The top three finishers, Oshan Price and Dale Furness in first. Paul Barrett and Gordon Noble realising a dream and bringing the car home in an outstanding second overall. And third place overall and Open Rally winners, Greg McKnight and Harry Marchbank. And there we have it, the Roger Albert Clarke Rally 2025. An event filled with highs and lows across the entry. Challenging from the offset, but as always, extremely exciting to watch and fulfilling to be a part of. Congratulations to Paul, Gordon and the whole team on a hugely impressive second place overall. Of course, an event of this nature doesn't get completed by just a two-man team. So we'd like to extend a massive thank you to everyone who made this rally possible. This has been a story of the Roger Albert Clarke Rally. I'm Paul Woodford. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.